Hello everyone, welcome back to Space for Edit. On this channel we talk about all the things that they don't teach you in design school but you need to know in the real world. And today we are having a little look back at my first 2.5, 3 months as a freelance interior designer. And I'm gonna jump right in from the editing stage. Okay, so if you watched last week's video, you know that we are splitting up this video into two, and today is going to be the Q&A section, all about freelancing, all about questions from my Instagram followers. So if you want to watch that first part, follow the link in the description. If you have any more questions about whatever has been discussed in this video, pop them in the comment section. Other than that, enjoy. Okay, so let's hop on to the questions. I've got my laptop here, so I might be looking down. There's quite a few questions actually. I don't usually get this many questions on my stories. What I'm going to try to do is keep the answers quite short because I think a lot of those questions could be easily turned into a full-length videos, which I'll probably do in the future. So if anything of this kind of resonates or you have your own question about freelancing at all, then pop them down in the comment section or send me a DM. I make note of all of that and eventually a video comes out of it in the end. Okay, let's jump onto the questions. Okay, so the first one is, does it take long to find clients and how do you find them? So like I said, cold leads versus hot leads. The challenge is more like working on that relationship, whether it's a cold lead or a warm lead. So for example, a warm lead would be someone that you used to work with in another design company, and you would reach out to them to see if they are looking for any freelancers to help out with their work. So that is a warm lead, but at the same time, you can't just reach out of nowhere and start talking to your friends like, come on, give me some projects. You know, you need to work on that. And at the same time with cold leads, it's even longer. So you send out your first email, then you send out a follow-up email, then maybe another follow-up email, or maybe the next thing is that you call up and follow up. That was probably better. And even then from your phone call, you will have to follow up again. What you need to think about is the timeline, the steps that you will have to put into place in order to get to the end result. So that is probably, that takes the longest. So there isn't like a fixed weeks or days that I could give you. It's just a process, and keep that in mind if you are wanting to do something like this. Okay, the next one is how to start freelancing in the UK and what are the requirements and where can I find more information? Thank you. Freelancing in the UK or even just starting your own business in the UK is quite simple. Literally, you could start doing your own thing today. You could still be employed, obviously, if your employer is okay with that. I don't know, just make sure that, you know, all the T's and C's are ticked, but it's very easy. You just set up your own thing. If you want a business bank account, go for it. If you want to use your personal bank account, go for it. It's not like someone's going to come after you and say, no, that is not right, that is not correct. So in the UK, it's quite fluent. The only thing what you have to remember is that at the end of the calendar year, so when it comes to December, you have to send in your self-assessment, which will have all of your tax information, your income, your outgoings, and all of that sort of jazz. And that's where you kind of make it official. So if I was to do this for the very first time, I wouldn't actually need to set up anything. I would just go about my business, make sure I keep track on what's coming in, what's going out. I'm putting things aside for the taxman, 20%. You see my design fee videos, you know. Yeah, just crack on like that. And then when it comes to December, make sure you register yourself on HMRC and do all the things that they ask you to do. Okay, the next one is, do you charge at any point when you freelance? Maybe it was meant to be at what point you charge when you're freelancing. And in short, this quite varies depending on what client you're working with. So if I'm working with a bigger company, they might have processes in place where they only pay freelancers 60 days, 90 days after completion. That often happens. But if these are smaller companies, then you might be able to kind of make your own agreement with them. For example, one of the clients that I worked with, they were happy to pay 50% upfront and 50% 7 days post last submission. With another client, we managed to agree on 7 calendar days post completion completion. So it depends what kind of client you're working with. Next question is, do you outsource anything? Like, do you go to the kitchen store or bathroom store? I don't really tend to specify anything at the moment, which is kind of like a relief for me, because that's what I really wanted to do. I just wanted to take a little step back from all of that and just work on concepts, mood boards, visuals, 3D. So I'm not really specifying anything, so I don't need to outsource anything. But if I was to, or if I would have to, let's say, specify furniture or finishes, I would probably just reach out to the suppliers that I already know from previous business, and we'll take it from there. Next question is, how long did it take to get your first customer? So I think that video that you just saw before, when I said we finally have business, I think it took me 5 to 4 weeks. So yeah, not too bad, but not ideal either. Next question, what was the final straw that made you think, this is it, today's the day? Whew. Well, if you've seen my previous 2 vlogs from last week, you kind of get the message that I've been building up to this for quite a while. It never seemed like it was the right time. There was always something. It was either my wedding was coming up, then I was saving up for the house, and then the little baby came around, and then I was going on maternity leave, then COVID hit. And it was constantly, there were just all these blocks in the road, and I was just kind of stuck in this grey zone of wanting to do something, but it didn't quite make sense to do it then. So I think once I finally found the courage and said, right, enough is enough, it was literally like the person that says, it was the last straw, where I just had enough and that was it. I just had to trust my gut and go with it. Next question, there's kind of 2 questions in there. When do you know you are ready for it? So literally what I just said, that for me it was enough was enough, and it was just the time was right, and you just had to trust your gut. And what kind of knowledge and effort does it involve? Freelancing, obviously. What do you want to do as a freelancer? I prefer to, like I said, sticking with concept design and visualization. I do some very basic CAD work at the moment, but as you know, CAD is not my favorite, so I'm trying to steer away from that. But at the end of the day, if the money is tight, then I will take it on anyway. Next question is, how do you budget to be able to live a decent life from freelancing? Like I said, we're in the process of trying to figure that out, aren't we? There's always this kind of doubt in your mind, or in the back of your mind, that it's not going to work out. There's never going to be enough money, or you don't really know where the next project comes in from. So for me, what I'm trying to now manage is, it's more the mindset that I need to sort out, because the money, the finances will follow. I will make sure that I put money aside for taxes, I put money aside for bills, and then whatever is left with, I can play and put away, save, spend, splurge out, I don't know, whatever. But if I could give an advice, and what I'm trying to do right now for myself is quiet down those voices in your head and just make a plan, like for everything. For me, always the key is to make a plan and just stick with it. So you know what your outgoings are, you know what the tax man needs to be put aside. So all of those things are in place, so you are not like so anxious about it, and you're not so stressed about it, if that makes sense. So if you have that peace of mind that, okay, I've got that side sorted, then it's easier to manage the actual money that's coming in. Still in the process of it. I'm just kind of sharing the thoughts that I have right now. Hope this helps. Next question, how do you find clients when you start out? So like I said, I've got a mix of leads, and those are cold leads that I've literally just looked up online and want to work with a company, like they look like they fit my profile. So I'm looking for commercial interior design companies, I'm looking for hospitality design. Residential, not so much, because I know that they will see my portfolio and they will think, well, she hasn't really worked on these kind of schemes, so it's not really a great fit. So I'm not wasting time with that, although eventually I would love to do some visual work for residential. So what I'm gonna have to do is adapt my portfolio that I'm sending out so they can see that I can do residential work as well. And then again, your warm leads, reach out to people that you know, that you've worked with. You know, starting to repeat myself, and I can definitely make a whole video of what my process is, what my outreach process is, what my thinking is, but I just need to spend some more time on it, and I need to, you know, test out a few more things. But future videos on this topic definitely coming. Oh, and a nice one to finish off with. Honestly, this wasn't planned. This is nice. How does it feel? It feels amazing. It honestly does, at least at the moment. Like I said when I started this video, I can talk about it with such passion and enthusiasm now because it just feels like things are falling into place, and it feels like it has worked out compared to the first few weeks where it didn't feel like that. And at first I really wanted to do like a monthly look back at how freelancing is going, but after the first few weeks I was like I don't really want to say that I've not got any jobs on at the moment, and I'm just you know, trying to fill my days with making Instagram reels and Instagram posts and YouTube stuff. So I was like, okay, well, we're gonna sit on that idea. But now when I'm in a lot better position and I feel a lot more comfortable and confident to speak about it, it honestly, like I said, it's the best decision ever. I feel everything that I was longing to call into my life. I can have my easy mornings, my quiet mornings, my slow mornings. I'm slowly learning, you know, like as a part of that routine thing that I just talked about. I need slow morning. Although I have a little toddler running around and, you know, she needs to be sorted, taken to the nursery and all that, I can still extend my morning when she's dropped off at the nursery, and I can come home and just have a coffee, go out in the garden. Oh, in the summertime, if you've seen my Instagram stories, you know that I love a bit of gardening. I've got green fingers and I love all that. So I can have my brew, I can walk around the garden, say hello to all of my beautiful flowers and all the plants, and take off all the dead leaves and all the dead heads and just have my time and read and meditate and do whatever feels right in that morning. If it gets to 10:30, 10 o'clock, and only then I sit down and start my day, I don't feel like I've missed out, and I don't feel like I'm falling behind, because I know that I'm going to be a lot more productive in the next 4, 5, 6 hours than I would have been if I had to start at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning and I've had a really stressful morning. And it's all part of that filling your own cup before you are, you know, sharing with others and putting more effort out into the world. It feels good, it feels great, and I hope and I manifest that universe is gonna stay on my side and is gonna keep on supporting all the hard work and efforts that I'm putting in now. So fingers crossed. Okay guys, that is it for today's video. I hope it made sense. Just to tell you how it is, I was struggling at first and I was doubting myself, but you just have to have that faith in you. You have to think that I'm doing this for a reason, this is happening for a reason, and there's bigger, greater, better things on the way. If you are putting in the effort, I'm a true believer into that. If you're putting in the effort and the work and the, you know, energy, then it will come out better and it will come back to you eventually. And if it hasn't happened yet, then just stick with it, it's coming. Okay, that's it for today's video. As always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If there's any freelancing questions that you have or anything that you want me to make a full-length video on, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I hope to see you in the DMs on Instagram, but if not, then stick around for these videos and the playlist, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye guys.